Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Swampy Comics weekly poll tier list. Got a good number of good books to talk about, so let's just jump right into it. We're going to start right off with, as you see here, Absolute Martian Manhunter number 5 by Deniz Camp and Javier Rodríguez. And I, I'm at a loss for words. This series just gets better and better. I saw some criticism saying, "Oh, not much happened in this issue," but I think the total opposite. I think this issue is helping to start blow the lid off of everything going on in the Absolute universe, or rather, the machinations behind it. And you couple these big story moments um, with just the use of shadow and colors in this issue. I mean, it really is something else. Every single issue of this series, it's something else. Like I can't wait to read this all at once. This 6 issue arc, because Absolute Martian Manhunter is taking a break in August for 2 months because it was originally just going to be a 6 issue arc, um, which makes me think they might have had other plans for John at the end of this one, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to see what issue 6 has in store. Issue 5 was just another landmark issue for this series. Just impressed me fully. It will probably it's going to be a sad day when Absolute Martian Manhunter stops impressing me because my expectations are just unbelievably high. I guess you could say I'm simping for this series. I mean, I love it so much. I can't recommend it enough. Um, so I mean, it just kind of goes without saying that's F tier. No, just come on, S. There we go. S tier issue. If you're not into this book, you should be. It's really good and doing things so much more different than anything else on the market right now. And for one of the most innovative and unique looking books to be coming from one of the big two publishers, I mean, it's great. It's a good sign for comics in general. But speaking of comics that are getting accolades, let's go on to Absolute Wonder Woman, who, as of this morning, I just learned won the Eisner Award for Best New Series. So and it's completely deserved. It was up against Absolute Batman in its own little neck of the woods, along with some other um, fairly lauded titles that I've heard about but not read. But Absolute Wonder Woman nailing the Eisner Award for Best New Series is well deserved, and this issue is just continuing that amazing run. 2 issues in a row that just we're talking about here that just dropped my jaw with their art. I mean, it's Hayden Christensen in this book and Javi Rodriguez in the last book. I mean, they are just doing the work. Like between Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Martian Manhunter, to quote Rob from Comics Explained, if God was writing comics right now, man, I tell you what. But I just Absolute Wonder Woman. It's just so good, and this is another great issue that just sets up Diana as being such a lovable character. I mean, Diana just is Wonder Woman, just is, but this version of her is just truly something else. Like just the selflessness and the love for her friends that she just met, and it just comes across so strongly. And you couple that with Diana being stuck in this labyrinth, the a labyrinth of, think Greek mythology labyrinth complete with Minotaur. This one's stuffed under a government facility like it exists in the US, or at least the portal to it does. I don't know. I just find that really fascinating how they're going really hard with the Greek mythology in this series, but also integrating it kind of seamlessly into the modern world, and the way that governments would treat such things if they were to discover them. And I don't know. I'm getting off on a little tangent there, but yeah, this book, there's a great sequence where, as you can tell by the cover, Diana has a little psychedelic experience because she gets poisoned in this labyrinth that she's in, and yeah, it just provides some really great art. I'm really excited to just see where this series keeps going. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm such a simp for these absolute titles, but Absolute Wonder Woman, this issue's going in S tier. It is. It's amazing, and everybody should be reading this. Um, Godzilla by Tim Seeley and Nikola Čižmešija. I'm so sorry for probably pronouncing your name wrong again, but I mean, let's just jump right to it. It'll probably be the last time for a while I'll be mispronouncing your name because I didn't like this at all. It's not garbage. It's not. I'm sure there's an audience for this, and I knew it was going to be a little bit of an uphill battle because they're doing some kind of anime tropey kind of stuff with heroes with mysterious powers just being powerful and ready to kick some butt, and every character is unlikable. And I'm sorry, but the Godzilla, there was one page where I was like, hey, that's a cool picture, but I mean, you're writing a Godzilla book. How, I don't know. Everything about this was just underwhelming. And I've had my, I tried to get into Flash, and I was just like, this clearly has an audience, and it's not for me. And I do feel the same about this one. But this is the most negative I've felt about a book since I've started buying comics in March. I just really didn't like this. I don't want to. It's not a total failure. It's not a piece of crap. It's not awful, but it wasn't for me, so it's going in D tier. I just, yeah. Last we'll be hearing of this series on this show. Anyway, let's move back to DC, as we do heavily on this channel, and get with Green Lantern number 25 by Jeremy Adams and art by Xermánico. God, I love saying that name. Coolest name in comics, and some of the most expressive and cinematic art done in comics. I really like this issue. We're kicking off a new big Green Lantern event. The emotional spectrum has been fractured, and it has been for a few issues now, but it's really coming to a head in this issue because now the Starbreaker Corps has officially been formed, and they are trying to ignite their central power battery at the same time that the Green Lanterns are trying to light central power batteries for the rest of the emotional spectrum. And in this issue, you have this really cool race against the enemy to gather some materials that are going to help, each sides of our conflict here complete their goals. And some really cool fight moments. Jeremy Adams, who wrote on the animated Green Lantern series, is doing a great job of bringing Aya into the fold. Just wanted to note that real quick before I forgot about it. But yeah, as to the race against time, they're trying to get these pieces of the source and going to various places to get them. They found a chunk of three of them, and they fight over them, and they get split up, and then it's a race against time to see who can make it to their battery first. And I really liked the way this ended. This issue ended. We're setting up a cool event here. I'm really excited. Green Lantern always has top tier events, and this one does not look to be disappointing. The only disappointment in this issue, which was something really specific, but I heard it echoed by the Comic Pals. I'll just say them. I love that channel. I heard it echoed by Sean on the Comic Pals. I believe it was Sean. But they go to Gem World in this issue and hang out with Amethyst, who's a pretty cool obscure character. But Gem World, Carol Ferris is seeing it for the first time, and she's just totally taken in by how beautiful and how awestruck she is by everything that she's seeing. And you get like two little panels that are showing this beautiful, amazing world. I'm like, maybe should have been a full page spread, make me feel like this is a little more important. I mean, but that's nitpicky. It's one little thing on one page in a really strong book that is continuing a really great story between mainline Green Lantern and the Green Lantern Corps book, and they're crossing over for this event, and I am beyond ready for it. This is a good start to the event. Putting this one at A tier. Green Lantern this week is going A tier. All right, up next we have Justice League Unlimited number 9 by Gail Simone, Mark Waid, Dan Mora, and Pop Mhan, with colors by Hi-Fi and Tamra Bonvillain. Let's just say letters. Why not? Letters by Dave Sharpe and Josh Reed. Justice League Unlimited. I really like this. I really seem to always not like a lot of time travel centric stories, but I've gotten a lot more relaxed with that stance. And I feel like We Are Yesterday and leading into this We Are Yesterday epilogue, I feel like DC's handled it pretty well. Not trying to explain it so much, just everybody saying, yeah, this is chaotic and awful, and we have no idea what's going on, and we think we control it with A, B, and C, but the Justice League is at a loss. Like Harley Quinn's popping in and out of existence, and Aquaman with his hook hand from the 90s is as well, and then you got Marilyn Moonlight and Huntress just popping up on the. I mean, just wild stuff going on the Justice League Watchtower with this weird rift in time that Gorilla Grodd created, and the World Forger and the Time Trapper are coming to help, which is strange and cool and very interesting. I really like this issue. I can't wait to see where the rest of this goes. And it ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger that has me worried about the future of the Justice League Unlimited, because I really enjoy this large style team stuff. Like, just the Justice League Unlimited being a superhero team of like hundreds of heroes is fucking cool to me. Like, I think it's so cool. And I don't want that to go away. I think the the Justice League as it stands should be like a league farming out a bunch of teams, much like MLB. So you'll have your Justice League Alpha, with the Trinity or whatever. Then Justice League Dark, obviously. Justice League Red is coming out and getting their own book. Justice League Blue, as a if you've seen that new Aquaman that's coming out, I doubt that's going to be an official team, but it's just a fun thing to call a bunch of underwater adventurers fighting evil under Arthur Curry. But who knows? I hope the Unlimited thing kind of stays. I like the gigantic, huge watchtower. I like the weird dynamic it could potentially have in between the inhabitants of Earth and the superheroes. They've already addressed some of that in like the Challengers of the Unknown book or whatever. But yeah, I'm just really excited. I'm really liking Justice League Unlimited, and Mark Waid's killing it. And Dan Mora, I mean, can you ask for any Mora? I'm sorry, I'll never do that again. All right, going in A tier. Yeah, it's a good book. It's a good book. Not really any complaints. But next we got Mr. Terrific Year One. Mr. Terrific having a breakout year with his appearance in the Superman movie and being my fiance's favorite character in the movie, which made me so happy. Like, to hear that people who are unfamiliar with this guy, who, I mean, I was one of them in March. I'm still pretty new to this character, but I've fallen in love with this guy. Michael Holt is so cool. He is, like, you have your like, I'm trying to compare it, but not trying to like measure swords with Marvel or anything. I'm not saying anybody's worse or better, but he's like the intelligence and the confidence of a Reed Richards without the nerdy, unlikable side, but still has some of that Tony Stark tech genius with that Tony Stark arrogance, but without being a condescending dick. Like I think they're striking a real good balance with how they're writing this character, and I really like this series so far. I'm bummed that it's just going to be a mini series, but hopefully after this they got more bigger plans for Mr. Terrific, because he is shaping up to be one of the coolest characters in DC. And I'm so happy I'm here for the what is it? Not the start of the ride, because everybody liked that Terrifics book that came out a few years ago, from what I understand. But really, the renaissance of him being a top tier character. I'm here for it. I'm excited for it, and I can't wait. That being said, this issue, coming off the high of issue 1 and 2, I liked this issue and everything it did, but I'm being a little bit critical. So I'll say that this one just did feel kind of like a middle issue, completely necessary to the story, not something you should miss if you're currently reading this book, but didn't have me just freaking out, kind of like the Spectre did coming in last issue and reprising his meeting of Michael Holt from his series in the 90s. Anyway, we're going to put Mr. Terrific in B tier this week. It's a great book. There's nothing wrong with it. There's just nothing that blew my mind about it, is all. But I'm really excited to see what Holt does, and I'm really like that this story is balanced in between Mr. Terrific currently dealing with everything going on in the DC universe, and then hopping back to the early years. Like, it's a really good balance, and just a successful book. I really like it. Next up, got New History of the DC Universe, #2. And this one was written by Mark Waid. And I'm such a jerk. I didn't say credits for Mr. Terrific. Let me give some shout outs. Mr. Terrific Year 1, Issue 3 was written by Al Letson, with artist Valentine De Landro, and also artist and colorist Edwin Galmon, with colorist Marissa Louise, and letterer Lucas Gattoni. There you are, Mr. Terrific crew. You're making a great book. Sorry, I almost forgot to shout you out. But New History of the DC Universe #2 by Mark Waid, with art split between Brad Walker and Michael Allred, with colors by Trish Mulvihill and Laura Allred, and letters by Todd Klein. This is great. If you have anybody who's trying to get into DC, or trying to wrap their head around current continuity without having to do hours and hours of diving through YouTube videos or Wikipedia pages, which I love doing, by the way, but it's not for everybody. And so I'm really glad that DC has something like this, speaking to the current continuity. Will it be irrelevant in 10 years? Maybe. 20? Probably. 30? Definitely. But it's here now, and that's cool. Just to kind of untangle some of the mess, and just to say, continuity right now, this is where it stands. This is how it stands. There's a lot of whiplash that I'm sure it's going to go on with longtime DC readers. Whenever they do these kind of things, I have a really easy time wrapping my head around it, and not, just kind of untangling and being like, okay, this is the status quo now. But I do understand those people who get involved with pieces of lore, and that's how it is in their head, and then that changes later, and that's alarming. I would say the biggest thing in this book, the only thing that I'm really like, that's different and kind of weird, is the whole they're doing the New 52 origin for the Justice League, which is fine. But if you know anything about the Justice League before that, it gets really confusing. And they basically had to say, the Justice League first met when they all decided to fight Darkseid, and then Cyborg was a member of it, but then he was in a coma for a bunch of years before he joined the Teen Titans, which I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. That's the one weird part that I had with this book, but it's not bad. It's important for companies to do this kind of thing, especially when DC is clearly trying to have a renaissance right now and get a bunch of new people in the door. This is a useful tool, and this is the kind of book that if I was like a kid, I would be flipping through this endlessly over and over again, trying to draw the pictures, trying to just make sense of and just know everything. But these are cool. I think they're cool. Nothing amazing, but if you're a fan of DC, I think it's fun to pick these up and read them. It's you can always make your own headcanon. it's whatever, but we're going to put this in B tier. Yeah. I liked issue 1 a little better because it really dug into the primordial early origins of the DC universe, along with spotlighting a bunch of obscure stuff that DC doesn't even really make anymore. But yep, yeah, issue 2, B tier. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Next up, we got Superman 28, and Superman 28. Wow, wow, just wow, wow. We got Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora on this one, along with Ariana Mar on letters and Alejandro Sanchez on colors. And I'm just gonna say it right now. We got 3 S tier books this week, folks. Let's just put it there now. I've already said it. Let's just get it right there. This was so good. The Summer of Superman is not only a marketing initiative, but it's really a call to arms to Superman fans of being like, we are putting our all into this right now. And this book felt so fun to read. I mean, you can read Justice League Unlimited number 9 and then just jump right into Superman 28, and it just goes together. It's perfect. Like, and not in an overlappy, forced way. It's just through conversation. And yeah, this is clearly would maybe come to Smallville to think about things after the potential conversation he would have had at the end of Justice League Unlimited 9 with his fellow Trinity members. Yeah, he has a lot to think about. A lot has happened, and it's been a tough summer for Superman. And he's just thinking back to those old friends that he had in the Legion of Superheroes. And lo and behold, he goes outside and Saturn Girl's there. But she has a big old Omega symbol on her chest, and this is the Legion of Darkseid that he confronts this time. And this book had one of the most successful fake outs that I've ever experienced. Like, I honestly, out loud, when I read a certain page of Cosmic Boy doing a certain thing, I was like, no fucking way. I was in disbelief. What a fake out. But yeah, this issue's great. The art in it is fantastic. Bringing in, I mean, I'm the Time Trapper is so cool to me. At first, it was a concept that I was like, this seems forced and stupid, but I'm so into it right now. I get it, I understand it, and it is so cool. And I love seeing this legion of superheroes that we've kind of seen in the background of the Summer of Superman special, and I mean, a couple other issues, right? Yeah, at the end of a couple Supermans. But this is setting up DCKO to be so cool, and all this stuff happening around that's going to be happening around the Heart of Apocalypse when we find out what's going on with that. And I'm just I'm so excited. This is like why we read comic books, is for weeks like this, not you Godzilla, weeks like this to happen, like where it's just all good all the time. And the character that they bring back at the very end, last page, is a jaw dropper and contentious and maybe controversial, but I think it's one of the coolest things ever. I think it's a huge swing and absurd in the best way, and it's just, let's fucking go, dude. Yeah. So we're gonna just definitely, yeah, it's already an S tier. Yeah. Yeah, I loved Superman number 28. Josh Williamson is killing it. His everything in DC, most things in DC are very, very good right now. It's kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. Because we haven't seen any Marvel books this week, but we're going to touch on one that came out last week that I was unable to pick up because a lot of stores didn't have it, and it wasn't just my area, from what I understand. But let's jump over the other side of the fence for our last book of the week and talk about X-Men: Age of Revolution, or Age of Revolution, Age of Revelation, issue 0. And I'm coming into this as somebody who doesn't know much of shit about the history of the X-Men when you get in deep. I know surface level stuff, but when you start to really get in with past events and what they meant and time traveling stuff, I'm out. I'm not like out where I'm dismissive, but I just have no clue. So I was hoping this issue 0 would be a good jumping off point to a new X-Men series. And it is, and it isn't. I feel lost because I didn't read The Age of Apocalypse, so I guess he has a son, and through whatever reason, our heroes decided to trust the offspring of Apocalypse, and who called himself Revelation, and then clearly went bad and is continuing the status quo of his father, probably. You know, godhood, worship, rule, just complete total power. So yeah, I don't know how to frame this. I'm like, I don't want to sound like I'm bad talking it, but I'm just like, for an entry level issue, I mean, it's issue 0 of a number 1 that won't be coming out until October. And yeah, I don't. It just felt like a history lesson, which is cool, which I might appreciate much more when the series starts. So I'm not gonna put this in a lower tier this week because I feel like this book did its job, and I did like some of the art and that page, that splash page of the DC creator was like, whoa, like, you know, I love an apocalyptic story, and I'm really excited to see where this goes, but I didn't really have my hands rubbing together with anticipation, if you know what I mean. So, X-Men Age of Revelation, we're just gonna... No, I don't think anything's going C tier. Because I am interested in to see what's happening. But I just... No, it's gonna go C tier. It was just an average book. And it didn't get me excited for a series I was already, you know, gonna buy anyway. So, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Hopefully my buddy Machio on the Marvel side of things can fill me in more on why this might be better. So who knows, next week it might get a retroactive regrade for me on the old Guy Gardner tier list. But that's where it stands this week with the tier list. We got Absolute Martian Manhunter, Absolute Wonder Woman and Superman in S tier, Green Lantern and Justice League Unlimited in A tier, Mr. Terrific Year 1 and New History of the DC Universe in B tier, X-Men Age Revelation in C tier, Godzilla in D tier, and nothing in F tier. F tier is reserved for just total shit. Like, I just want to explain, like, I gave Godzilla a D, and D's kind of reserved for this just really isn't for me. And, you know, I said the criticisms that I had with it, but I don't think it's a bad book that you shouldn't buy, because if you're into this anime superpower stuff, I mean, it sounds weird when I'm reading comic anime superpower stuff, but more, it just seems more ambiguous and more stylish than it needs to be, which is, I'm not doing a good job of saying why I didn't care for this. It just wasn't my cup of tea. That's all. Like, I'm sure that there are people that will find good things in this book, that will like the way that it's handled, but yeah, it's just not for me. So it's not a failure of a publication. It just registered a 0 in the old Swampy meter. That's all. But anyway, let's get to our pick of the week. This is a tough one. I mean, because obviously it's going to be one of these 3 S tier ones, but all right. You know what? I feel just as the same amount of great for all these books. We're gonna let the old D20 decide. So let's see. Absolute Martian Manhunter. What did you roll? A 2. All right. Absolute Wonder Woman, what did you roll? An 11. All right. Superman 28, what did you roll? A 16. All right. The dice have decided since I could not. The pick of the week is Superman number 28. This, along with its fellow S tier books, is completely worth your attention and checking out. It's just fun to do a pick of the week. It's been a little easier in the past weeks. This one was really tough. I feel weird not picking Absolute Martian Manhunter, but I also feel weird for not picking Absolute Wonder Woman to give it some cred on the week that it won the Eisner Award. But the dice have decided. Superman 28 is my pick of the week. But it was a good week except for Godzilla. Everything was pretty good. Even X-Men, I put it in C tier, but it just didn't have a lot going on. Anyway, it's been a half hour. I don't think I got to quantify my decisions anymore. Thank you for watching. Like this video if you can. If you could subscribe, that would be amazing. And leave a comment below if you don't agree with my opinion, or if I got something wrong or missed something. Let me know. Just totally be nice about it. I'm just a human, and this is just a hobby for me. So just be nice. But thank you all, and we'll catch you next time.